You gotta love starting out a stream muted. Hey man, what's good, bro? Thanks for letting me know. You gotta love starting out a stream muted. Basically, what I was saying is, welcome to Hawk Soups Live. Happens every Wednesday at 8, where we talk about games that happened this past week, NBA news around the league. Sometimes we do something creative and out of the box. And last week we did an NBA award show where I gave my NBA awards way too early into the season. That was a good one. Go check that one out. The full version, but also the shortened version is up there as well. Today's title of today's show is, yes, is Trae Young a bad leader? Ant-Man Burner. It's Mega VR Freak. I completely forgot to do that with you last week. That is crazy. Soon as you said exclamation point in Discord, that is crazy. Look, in my defense, I've been sick. My wife convinced me to even go live this week. She was like, you've been skipping. You need to go live. And so I got the hot tea. I got Halls in my pocket. Like, I'm sick. That's my excuse. But today is just a couple of things I want to go over. A couple of things I want to talk about. Yes, definitely W Wifey. Title of the stream for today is Trae Young a bad leader? And I want to get this off the top because it was a story. It's a story that was going around crazy this past weekend. It's definitely, I say, died down a little bit by now because since it happened on Friday. But I still wanted to talk about it and put some thoughts out there. If you don't know what happened, let me pull this up so y'all can see it. Essentially, Trae Young didn't play in Atlanta's game Friday night, this past Friday. I want to say it was a home game, if I'm not mistaken. No, was it a home game or was it a away game? Let me look and see. Friday night. No. Didn't attend their game against Denver Friday. That's just hating. So you do just hate Mega VR. You just hate Trae. I'll definitely say I don't hate Trae, and I think the conversation is deeper than is Trae just a bad leader or whatever. And I don't think you can necessarily make that off of this one moment, for real. But I gotta get you to click on the video somehow, and here we are. So let me pull this up. So y'all think y'all be able to see it. All right, bet. I love our stream setup. I worked hard to get this out. Look at how it was looking. I love the way it looks. Pat myself on the back every now and then. Okay. So if you don't know, shout out to The Athletic. The Hawks played the Denver Nuggets this past Friday. Trae Young decided not to attend the game at all. Didn't travel with the team. Didn't attend the game at all. It was in Denver. The Hawks actually ended up winning that game. Big, impressive win for the Hawks for sure. Later comes out that there was some miscommunication between Trae Young and Nate McMillan. At least that's the way they're putting it out there. Trae Young wanted to play and said he wanted to, I guess, focus on later that day where Trae Young made it clear that he wanted to focus solely on his treatment while missing shoot around and deciding later in the day whether he would play or not. That approach, however, was not McMillan approved. Since the face of the Hawks franchise was decided not to take part in shoot around, McMillan ultimately presented him with two options for that night's game. Sources said, allegedly, play off the bench or don't show up to the arena. That's the part that was going crazy. That's the part that was getting all the headlines that everybody was talking about. Excuse me. McMillan then told reporters on Sunday that Young did not play on Friday due to a miscommunication. Young practiced fully on Sunday and will return. He played Monday against OKC. There was no disciplinary action. It continues to go on about some other stuff. Apparently later, it's Nate McMillan, I want to say in another report, said that he never said that the ultimatum was either play or don't show up at all. And that's what the miscommunication part of it was. Right. So a couple of things come to mind with this. And this is why I said, is Trae Young a good or bad leader? The first thing that came to mind is Trae Young's supposed to be the face of the franchise. Trae Young was basically given the keys to this franchise when he was drafted. From day one, the dream, the build was, since they traded him and Luka for each other, Dallas and Atlanta, that Trae was going to be the face of the franchise. He is the future. They just gave him that new 5-year, like $210 million extension that started this year. So he's locked in for, years to come. Now, initially, the thought process is, for me at least, you're supposed to be the leader of this team. Even if the miscommunication was in Trae's mind, he heard coach say, "Hey, yo, just don't come at all." To me, I feel like if I was Trae, I'd be like, "Nah, bump that. Like, I'm still going to be there." Because even if Trae's not playing, like, say for some reason he decides on himself, like, "Yeah, I can't really play. I don't want to play, um, but I'm still going to travel for the team," because his injury wasn't necessarily something that was going to hinder his travel or anything like that. Um, like he said, like we read earlier, he was going to decide that day if he was going to be able to play or not. So obviously, it wasn't no major injury that was going to hinder his travel. Because sometimes players have been injured where they can't travel. My thing is Trae Young. A couple of things for me at least. This team's already, some would say, didn't start out as hot as some people wanted him to. At least Trae Young himself. For a little bit there, the first couple of weeks of the season, some people consider him in a shooting slump. I do think the combination of him and DeJounte Murray, we talked about that last week, me being wrong about that, has looked well. But there already has been some turmoil in this team. There's some issues apparently with John Collins. He's in trade rumors all the time. But my point is with Trae Young just being at the game is because he can just be a leader even on the bench. You know, saying to DeJounte, they guarding you this way, do this, or saying I see this read here, stuff like that. Like I say all the time how great Trae Young is as a player. Y'all know me all last season. I called him a walking top 5 offense, and I want to say he was like my second or third best point guard in the league last season. So it might have been my number 1 point guard in the league last season. Like he's up there. So I was surprised to see this from him. The article continues on, and I just part that I thought was interesting. It continued on talking about how Trae Young's strained relationship with Lloyd Pierce got him fired in 2021. That's what even got Nate McMillan there in the first place, and then the Hawks go on that run once Nate McMillan was there. So to answer the question, is Trae Young not a leader or anything like that? I don't think that's the case. I do think. I do be saying that a lot. I will say, though, Trae Young, and it's not necessarily his fault, and I'm not saying this is 100% apples to apples, but bear with me here. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how I don't necessarily like young teams that just have all the keys and they're just young and they get to do whatever they want immediately, a la the Houston Rockets. I don't think the Rockets, even though they're trying to develop players and stuff like that, I don't think they're building a winning culture. I don't think Trae Young's had a strong vet throughout his career to really kind of show him some of the ropes. And we get it. He's a superstar at this point. He don't necessarily need the rope shown to him. But if he had a super vet on his team that he would have respected, that vet might have been able to pull him to the side and be like, "Hey, Trae, you need to be at this game. I don't know what's going on between you and coach, but you need to be at this game." Because then there was reports that there was then a players meeting and the locker room was split between Team Trae and Team McMillan. When you have a new guy in your team like DeJounte Murray, who's might be just trying to figure things out, see where like, yo, where do I land here? So I can see him being a little bit split on things. I can see John Collins being a guy who's in trade rumors, not knowing where to go. I can just see this being and this could just be me blowing it out of proportion, I'll admit. But I could potentially see a world where this affects them continually moving on. Like, say, for example, later down the season, McMillan and Trae don't agree on a play call or something like that, and they could potentially blow up. It's just little things like that that could just be blown out of proportion. And to prove that this really could just be blown out of proportion, when reporters asked Trae Young about the situation, I will say I did like what he said. He said this was a private matter that unfortunately became public, and now it's being blown out of proportion, and he said he's not going to go into it any more than that. The one reason I'll say this really could just be a private matter that's blown out of proportion, because if Trae does sit out, we don't necessarily find out he sits out doesn't travel, because of him and McMillan having that miscommunication. This just goes down as potentially Trae Young doesn't travel with the team due to rest, and he catches back up later. Because we see it all the time. NBA players sit out or don't travel because of rest, this, that, and the third. I don't think that's the case here, but I'm curious to see, what continues to happen in Atlanta. Hey, Range was good. Ant-Man was good. Mega VR was good. Range, I seen that comment. You ain't slick. I had seen the comment already. Let me see what y'all talk about in here with the Trae Young situation. First off, let me pop out the chat. And that's the other piece. Somebody just said on TikTok, and that's the other piece I think that's interesting to me with the Trae Young, Nate McMillan situation. Like I said earlier, Trae Young just entered into his 5-year extension just started this year. Trae Young knows to an extent he is the franchise. If he wants McMillan out for any reason, McMillan is gone. And I think Nate knows that to an extent as well. And I think that just comes with being a coach of a real legit superstar, especially on a team. But I just thought it was really, really interesting. And I wanted to start off the show with it. Let's see what y'all talk about here in the comments. How y'all doing today? Mega VR says, imagine not accepting coming off the bench. LeBron came off the bench, so did Anderson Varejao, and it didn't get booed. I don't know if it was a situation, and that's what I'm saying. I don't even know if it was a pride thing of not wanting to come off the bench. I truly don't know. I think it might have just been some random miscommunication that just makes Trae look bad, to me at least. And 2 weeks from now, this could really wash over. No one cares about it. The Hawks go on a 5-game streak, and truly no one cares. Or it goes the opposite way. Hawks lose a couple of games, and now there's even more turmoil. And now we're back revisiting this, see if there was any more validity to this. When an NBA team has drama, if you're winning games, no one cares about your drama. Like, if you have drama but then continue to win, the drama will fade into the background. It's like, well, they figured it out. It's winning basketball. But if you have drama and then you start to lose games, that's when people start to get concerned. Trade for Kendrick Nunn is crazy. Oh, yeah, I did see Through the Wire do this. Ant-Man says, I saw Through the Wire do this, so I want to know your thoughts. If you are certain players on the Hawks, whose side would you be on? For me, I don't know if it's as simple as sides. Like, I know they asked, for example, Onyeka Okongwu. I don't think he necessarily has a thought on it. But if I'm DeJounte Murray, I'm like, well, I just got here. I just got traded here. What's going on? Like, is it funny here? What's the chemistry like here? Like, I came here to ball with you, Trae. Well, I didn't come here. I got traded here to ball with you, Trae. Like, what's going on? If I'm John Collins, I'm a little concerned. If I'm Clint Capella, I'm a little concerned. Mainly Collins and Capella, because I can see either of the two being potential trade pieces. So if the things go south or go left, or they feel like management feels like they need to shake anything up, those are type of the names that I think might come up in trade conversations. So if I'm those guys, I'm keeping my eyes open. I don't know if I'm picking a side, and I don't really know if there's even a side to pick. And I'm only saying that because they're saying it was a miscommunication. Trae Young saying it was a blow up. At least so far, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a real-term, long-term issue for the Atlanta Hawks. Trae for a bag of chips because he can play defense. I'm dead. Chips can play better defense. Guru, first time in a Hawk stream in a while. What's good, Guru? How you doing? It ain't really you that's been missing. Hawk been inconsistent. If you go back and look on my page, outside of last week, the last stream I did was the beginning of November. I did 2 streams in November. That's L streamer on my part. L streamer on my part. I'm gonna hold that. L streamer on my part. Let's see. Ninja, what's good? How you doing? What's up? How's it going? I'm a little far behind on Christmas video craps. I'm only 5 days behind. I'm not like the Sixers being trashed. They're playing like a 4 seed. What's good, Ninja? Thanks for pulling up. You really be watching all of Christmas videos? That's what's up. I can't catch all of them, but I be watching. Actually, I get most of my recaps from NBA.com. I watch the 9-minute versions. Let's talk about PJ Tucker real quick, Ninja. Just a quick aside since you asked. PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker feels like an anomaly to me right now. He had that stretch of games. It was like 4 or 5 games in a row where he doesn't score at all. Had more minutes than points on the season, more minutes than field goals. It just was some crazy, looks like not contributing offensively type stats. But then in the same breath, I want to say he's either first or second in box score plus minus for the team. He's a part of some of our best lineups. So while sometimes the box score for PJ doesn't feel like it's giving us anything, Sometimes when I watch him, he does seem effective out there. I'm not saying he is all the way, and I'm not saying him not scoring at all isn't an issue. I'm saying he's an anomaly, and I'm still trying to figure out my real stance on PJ. Because when I watch Sixers games, sometimes I feel like I lose him out there. Like, I'm not even paying attention to him. He's just out there vibing. Every now and then I'm like, okay, PJ, you did something nice there. But then when I look at advanced numbers, and I'm not a huge box score plus minus guy. Truly, I'm not. I really only use it as a loose barometer of maybe the type of impact the guy had on a game. I look at box score plus minus as like, if the box score, if a stat had to be the eye test, that's kind of what, box score plus minus is to me. If a stat had to be the eye test that gauge a player's impact, sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes you can look the box plus minus and get that. With that in mind, it's appearing to be that PJ is being pretty impactful for us. I just don't know how I truly all the way feel about him just yet. What's up, my brother? Love the content. I'm reading a TikTok comment. I'm live on YouTube. Oh, I meant to put that in the title of the stream. If you're on TikTok watching, you want to see the full stream, we live on YouTube. Pull up. Link is in the bio. Man, VR, why do you hate Trae so much, yo? Why do you hate Trae so much? After you're done with your check Discord, I'm going to list my all-NBA teams. I know it's early, but it's fun to see who's playing at that level. Okay, we can check that out, Range. I'll check that out in the Discord. Oh, Chris Paul is back? Man, I still don't know why I can't see you join and why Kenny's profile picture is out. I did not realize Chris Paul was back. Shout out to him. Shout out to... Speaking of Chris Paul, we talked about this last week when we did the way too early awards. Somebody asked me, why isn't Devin Booker in MVP conversations? And they brought it back up. I was listening to The Mismatch. I bring it up all the time on here. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And they brought up Devin Booker. And they basically asked the same question. Why isn't Devin Booker in more people's MVP conversations? He kept the Suns not even just afloat. He kept them elite while Chris Paul's out for all of those games. He's clearly their leader. And I see some people still saying he doesn't play defense. And we talked about this before. You can't say that anymore about Devin Booker. I'm not saying he's locking up the best player on the opposite team or really locking up anybody for keeping it a being. But the energy is there. The effort level is there. And I'm just happy to see it from him. Let's see. Shout out to Kevin O'Connor. Bro, such a good podcast. Is the mic low? Rudy Gay says the mic is low. Is the mic? It's at the same setting. It's at every week. I don't really change the settings week to week. So if it's, let me double check let me check one. Yeah. I don't change the settings week to week. Let me see I'm just trying to read the comments real quick. See what else is y'all saying. Ninja, the money, hey, sometimes NBA teams just have to overpay people. And it might be PJ Tucker was one of the people we overpaid. I don't know. I truly don't know. DeJounte would still support Trae, but I think, yeah, I agree with you, Range. I think going back to the Hawks situation, DeJounte, I think would try to straddle the fence, support management and support the organization, but also being like, hey, Trae, I see what you're coming from, but, trying to straddle the fence, basically. Nah, that snot was going crazy. TMI, but that joint was going crazy. Trying to figure out what y'all talking about in here. Y'all, the chat is moving. Nah, we talked about Jason Tatum for MVP last week. I'm chilling on the Jason Tatum MVP talks. Now he is in the conversation, but we gonna let it rock. We gonna let it rock. Jason Tatum right now, we already know, is my personal MVP. A couple other teams I wanted to talk about. Let me pull my notes up. my notes slash just the standings, because there were some teams I just wanted to get off my chest simply just off the strength. I'm concerned about the Miami Heat, guys. Just the teens. Not concerned, I should say. They confuse me at times. Because the Miami Heat will beat the Boston Celtics. They'll split games with the Celtics last week. Then lose to the Grizzlies and the Pistons. But then they'll beat the Hawks and the Wizards. But then lose to the Timberwolves. And then lose to the Wizards. They've lost to the Raptors. They've beat the Hornets twice, but then they lost to the Trailblazers. They've lost to the Pacers. They're Miami Heat in a very weird and interesting situation. And I think a lot of it comes down to what I've said before. They don't have enough offense on that team. They simply do not have enough offense. They don't have enough guys who can score the ball consistently. And I really do think they need a power forward. Nicholas, what's up? How you doing? Rudy, I feel like I did say what's up to you. Or I at least looked at your comment. Maybe I didn't say what's up. If I didn't say what's up, that's my fault. That's all me. That's all me. I don't know what's going on. Let's take a look at the Miami Heat. Let's take a look. Because I haven't looked at their stats in a while as like an organization. But I do feel, and I said it all offseason, that they're going to miss. They don't have enough offense. I said all offseason they weren't going to have enough offense. Bam was my pick for defensive player of the year going into the season. I don't know if and they're still the Heat are still a top 10 defense. Don't get me wrong. Caveat to what I'm about to say. The Heat are still top 10 defense, and Bam was going to end my conversation for going into the season for potential defensive player of the year. One of the pushbacks I got from a lot of people was that they don't know if Bam's going to be defensive player of the year because he's going to be asked to do so much offensively because this team is lacking so much offense. Like I said, 7th in defensive rating, but they're 26th in the offensive rating right now, and they 25th in net rating. They're just offensively, they're absolutely horrible. They cannot score. 26th of the league in terms of pace. And then when I look at, somebody said, what's Bam doing? It's not like some guys aren't playing well. Like, Bam's playing well. Giving you 20 on 52% from the field. Like, I don't know how much more you want from him scoring-wise. I don't know how much more you're going to get from him scoring-wise. You might want more, but I don't think you're going to get more. Jamie's giving you 21. Tyler Herro's giving you 20. And then after that is Strus with 14, Kyle Lowry with 14. Shout out to Kyle Lowry. He has looked a lot better this year compared to last year. He's definitely turned his game around. He's not Toronto Kyle Lowry by any means. I think he's, he is just getting older. He's 36 years old, but he is playing a lot better. And then Caleb Martin's giving you 11. But other than that, this team just really lacks offense. They really do. Like, I've tuned in the games and seen Udonis Haslam on the floor just because they lack some depth. If somebody's injured, somebody's out, they got to throw UD out there. We all saw the viral clip of Udonis Haslam guarding Jason Tatum in that corner. Tatum hit him with a jab step and went baseline. Like, if UD has to guard Tatum, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Dang, not y'all trying to bully me? Y'all trying to bully me into the putting the Discord bot in? I need to get on that. Bad Axe, what's good? What's good, bro? How you doing? No problem being late. You're never late. You're always on time when you pull up. How you doing today? Thanks for pulling up. No, I don't have the Raptors game on the monitor. Are they playing? I don't have any game up. Usually I do have a game up, but right now I don't have any game up. Let me see. The Max Strus hype train has died. That's tough. That is tough. I don't know. Well, the playoffs, he did have a little hype train situation, and I was on the Max Strus hype train in the playoffs because when they benched Duncan Robinson, it was like, oh, okay. Who's this Max Strus guy? Even Duncan Robinson's not doing exactly. He's only getting 17 minutes a game. He's shooting 31% from three. I don't know what happened to Duncan Robinson. He got paid and then fell off. I think I want to do and I might do it. It's going to take some quote unquote research. I want to do, or somebody do it, a deep dive on role players in their contract years. I'm thinking of Duncan Robinson. Randomly, Jonathan Simmons pops in my mind. Chandler Parsons, not so much. His was a lot of injury situations. But I'm sure every NBA fan can think of a good role player that they were watching that was in their contract season. Like, yo, he is hooping right now. He about to get a nice little bag. He's worth it. And then they get that bag. And it's like, wait, They're not what they used to be. Duncan Robinson, before he got his bag, nice, like a legit sniper, and he was, to me, worth every single dime because shooting is at a premium in the NBA right now. Just the way what people play, you need floor spacers, you need shooters, and he just forgot how to shoot the ball altogether. Man, it's absolutely insane. Oh yes, the Raptors are playing the Lakers. No, I'm not gonna turn that game on. Hawks, Knicks, Hornets, Lakers. Low key, there's not a single game I would want to watch that's on right this moment. Anyway, but speaking of I don't really want to talk about the Lakers in depth. I feel like the Lakers come up every episode. But since I said Lakers Raptors, I want to say two things. Shout out to the Lakers, but more so shout out to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, and we've talked. I feel like we talk about it every week. We've talked about it at least 2 weeks in a row because he's continued this level of play over the last, I want to say it's like 10 games now. He's just been on an absolute tear, going crazy. Let's pull up. I'm gonna pull up his last couple. So right now for the season, he's averaging 27, 13 on 59% from the field. My favorite thing that I'm seeing from Anthony Davis right now, just this version of AD that we've been seeing essentially since LeBron went out, right? He stopped shooting the three. He's no longer worried about shooting the three. And I think that's the biggest impact we've seen in his game. The midi is there from time to time, but he stopped being overly concerned about a three-point shot. I think Anthony Davis fell in love with his three in that 2020 season. He did shoot very, very well in their championship playoff run, but so did a lot of other people. We'll just leave it at that. But I think when Anthony Davis gets back to his game, like he has been, it's bullying people in the paint. It's proving to everybody that, like, yo, no one here is stronger than me. No one here is better than me in the paint, at least. And he's playing very, very, very well. But I wanted to look up in the last, if we go back to like the 7th of November to his last game against the Wizards. We're not going to count the Cleveland game because he went out with flu-like symptoms. Just in that time span, he's averaging, so basically since most of the month of November, 32 points, 14 rebounds on 62% from the field. Anthony Davis is trying to creep into MVP conversations. I don't know if he's going to keep this up throughout the entire season. I think he's in conversations now, but I don't think people are ready to give it to him yet for two reasons. The Lakers still aren't necessarily winning that many games. They're putting some wins together, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they're shooting up the standings, and then guys like Tatum and Giannis are still playing amazing, and their teams are winning at a great clip. But AD is hooping, and I just wanted to take a second to give him his props for it because he is hooping. Yeah, he did. AD does have the flu. It's funny. Me and my boys was on Xbox. We were watching the game. Hold on. Child. I feel like I got the flu. I don't, but I feel like it. We were watching the game. A couple of my boys had a couple of parlays on AD and some other players and stuff. And somebody goes, wait, why is AD leaving? Is he injured again? And it's funny, because in my boy's defense, I was waiting to see. I was like, dang, let's see. Is there somebody going to say something? Is it going to be a Disney joke? Is it going to be a Data Davis joke? Because no one knew. We didn't know yet why he was out. Because we was playing the rec, and we just happened to hear that he was out. And we were like, what's going on? Turns out it's just a flu. Get well soon, AD. We hope to see you soon. Mad X, excellent question. Hawk, what should the Bulls do at this point? Shout out to Kenny. He put a video up about the Bulls the other day, and I agree with most of what he's saying. That the Bulls, the Wizards are in weird spots of just NBA. I call it NBA purgatory. He called it mediocrity. I call it NBA purgatory, where you're not good enough to really try to make a deep playoff run. You might make the playoffs. You might be a high play-in team, talking 7-8. But you're probably going to be out in the first round. You're not bad enough to, even if you did miss the play-in, you're going to be a low lottery team, like almost out the lottery, like one of the last spots in the lottery. And the Bulls situation is really just unfortunate because Yes, they did have a tough schedule, Mega VR. You are correct. They had one of the toughest schedules in the league so far. But the Bulls situation sucks because, and I've said it before, the Bulls organization, the team as a whole, is an absolutely complete different team of Lonzo's on the floor. Without Lonzo, they play at a super slow pace because and I'm not even trying to knock these guys, but Levine and DeMar, they love the mid range. They love to get into their bags and like they slow the ball down a little bit. Whereas Lonzo is great at pushing the pace, getting some of the wings and transition and stuff like that. And from what I can tell, there is literally no timeline for Lonzo's return. There's zero timeline for Lonzo's return. Coaches don't know when he's coming back. Staff don't know when he's coming back. They said he's still in a lot of pain. This is one of the wildest injuries I feel like I've seen in a while, where it's just, it was presented to us originally as this was supposed to be some routine. It was supposed to be some orthoscopic surgery. I want to say he had way back at the end of last season, like way back towards the end of last season. And he was supposed to be good going into this season. Turns out he does not good. Needs another procedure. They were saying 6 to 8 weeks. That 6 to 8 week mark comes, and it's like, well, he's still in pain. He still can't do anything. So the Bulls, I'm not saying blow it up. I'm not saying they go that far, but I do think they need to really make a hard look and see what they want to do. Because they just, if I'm not mistaken, they did just extend Levine. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the Rosen's contract looks like, but they have Levine if they want to, keep him. I don't want to say keep him and build around him because I don't know how good a team built around Zach LaVine can really be. I feel like we've saw a rough attempt at that before, and LaVine's couple of first seasons with the Bulls until they got the opportunity to put a couple of all-stars around him. Because fully healthy, I really like the Bulls. Fully healthy, I said it from the jump. I do really like the Bulls. I don't know how he's playing as of late. I don't know if I watched the Bulls this week, but about a week and a half ago, I did say I was liking what I was seeing from Vucevic. The numbers weren't necessarily different. I just saw effort. Similar to what I say about Devin Booker. I see effort. The numbers might not be different, but I like the effort I see. It makes a difference when you're watching the games and you're seeing how they're interacting with other players on the floor. Effort does make a difference. This is one of the intangibles that maybe box plus minus will, have an impact on whatever, but he is playing better, to me at least. Patrick Williams got to go. I know a lot of Bulls fans are not in love with Patrick Williams right now. A lot of Bulls fans are not in love with Patrick Williams. Start bench cut. Devin Booker, SGA, Donovan Mitchell. Wow. That's tough. That is really tough. So, this is just mine, right? This is just me personally. For me personally, if you'd have asked me before Chris Paul got injured, I probably would have said start Donovan Mitchell. I might still say start Donovan Mitchell. I'm starting Donovan Mitchell. It might be controversial, but I think Donovan Mitchell's better than Devin Booker. Might be controversial. I'm starting Donovan Mitchell. I'm benching Devin Booker. And as much as I love SGA, and he's playing absolutely amazing, I think I would have to cut him. As much as I love SGA, that's probably the toughest start bench cut I've seen in a long time. But I'd go, it really is a preference. Like, to me at least, it really does feel like preference. It really does feel like it's just who you like. And SGA is one of my guys. I've been a champion SGA since he got traded in the Paul George trade. I was like, hey, OKC got one. I was like, OKC got one when they got SGA. Oh, and he's finally having a breakout season. Definitely going to be an all-star this year. That's tough because depending on who you talk to, you make an argument, at least how they playing right now, top 3 shooting guards in the league, like, that's tough. That is tough. That's tough. See, Range is saying he would start Shea, bench Booker, cut Spider. VR saying Book would be gone. I get it. That's tough, though. That is tough. Heat Vision, what's good? How you doing? Trae is falling. We talked about Trae the top of the show. He I don't know what he up to. Yeah, let me check Discord real quick. I'm gonna open up Discord. Give that a second to open up and get going. In the meantime, I'm gonna blow my nose again. Ooh, on TikTok they seeing on TikTok DMV Nick is saying he would cut Booker. I'm seeing a lot of people saying cut Bookers. That's tough. That's tough. I'm not mad at you for it, for sure. But it's tough. I mean, yeah. Heat Vision, sure. Booker over SGA right now, all time, for sure, for sure. SGA is, I feel like, just now getting into his potential. You can use the word superstardom, if you will. I know that's not a word I really love, but he's just now getting into whatever it is he's going to be. You know, I'll say that. All right. Unlimited said check Discord. So let's see what he put in here. Why can't I find it? Oh, these is all NBA teams? All right, Unlimited's all NBA teams. First team, Curry, Luka, Tatum, Giannis, and Embiid. Let me just share this real quick since we're here. And let me move that. Josh, Shea, LeBron, KD, AD. Mitchell, Booker, DeMar, Zion, Jokic. Curry, Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Joel, Ja, Shea, LeBron, KD, AD. Okay. Mitchell, Booker, DeMar. DeMar is having actually a really good season. I'm not mad at this. DeMar Love, he is still having a good season. Zion's having a good season. Jokic is having a good season. It's so funny. Y'all know, of course, I follow W List Unlimited. Y'all know me. I follow a bunch of Sixers fans on Twitter because I am a Sixers fan. How can I put this politely? Sixers fans, you're making us look bad. Shut up. I don't even know have a better way to say it. Just hush. I don't think anybody but and what I mean by this is this. I don't think anybody but a very select few, at least on my social media platforms, select few Sixers fans are still constantly comparing Jokic to Embiid after every single game. Now, because the big thing right now is I want to say Jokic is averaging like 5 less points than he did last season. The efficiency is still there, just averaging 5 less points. The other numbers are still there. And they're like, oh, well, if Embiid were averaging 5 less, it'd be this big old deal, yada, yada, this, that, and the third. I don't think it'd be a big deal if Embiid was averaging 5 less. If whatever number he put up was, for example, without Tobias and James Harden or Tobias and Maxey or Maxey and Harden. Like without two of your starters and them two starters come back and are honestly playing pretty solid. Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray, I couldn't tell you his number off the top of my head, but when I've watched a couple of Nuggets games, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him at least. Why is it such a big deal? Sixers, y'all make us look crazy. Sometimes y'all make me not want to be a Sixers fan because some people will see that and then be like, come to me, be like, Hawk, this how y'all feel? No, this not how Hawk feel. Jokic just balling, and it's understandable why his points are dipping a little bit because we all say Jokic is dang near a point guard in a 7-footer's body, so he trying to get his teammates involved, and now he got some of his weapons back. He clearly want to get them, feeling good and ready to go because he knows he gonna need them come April, May, June when they trying to make a deep playoff run. I had to get that off my chest. I saw Jokic's name, and I've been feeling for that for a couple of weeks. I had to get that off my chest because it's a couple of Sixers fans I follow on Twitter. I just want to be. Sometimes I really just want to reply, be like, bro, shut up. No one cares. No one cares, bro. We don't care. Jokic is hooping, Embiid is hooping. You don't got to create this imaginary beef between Jokic fans and Embiid fans. You don't. I feel like we don't. I feel like we're past this by now. At least I am. Maybe I'm the minority. And more people are still split between the two. I don't know. DeMar needs to go back to last season's average to be over JB. that's what I'm saying. I wasn't mad at the DeMar addition Mega VR, but off the because I haven't made an All NBA team. Maybe we'll do something like that next week. I saw Through the Wire put out their All-Star ballots and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do something like that next week. I gotta take some time really thinking about it. But Jaylen Brown, I felt like I would have to maybe sneak in here somewhere. Oh no, you good. You good, Unlimited. And we just chilling. We just chilling. Let me see. Comparison between Shea and Booker all the way at the bottom? Oh. Is this from, what is this from? I'm not mad at this. All right. Next thing I wanted to talk about. Let me pull my notes back up. It was just a couple more things before we get out of here. I told y'all on my story, this is gonna be a fast, not a fast stream. I don't want to use the word fast, but not the 2 hours we usually do because my throat was already starting to be a little scratchy. Hey Rage, what's up? How you doing, man? Thanks for pulling up. He said AD over Embiid. Yo, Rage be pulling up with the he pull up with the smoke. Rage pull up with the smoke like immediately. How you doing, bro? Rage is back. Tell a friend. Oh, you're sick, bro. I feel that I'm sick. Unfortunately, I feel that I'm sick. It was somebody I saw in trade conversations. I was trying to see who it was that was interesting to me. Dang, who was it? They was just saying they was in. That's what it was. I wanted to talk about this because I think it's a interesting situation that doesn't happen to a lot of people, but unfortunately happens when you're extremely good. Oh, I really do think. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. I really do think the Dallas Mavericks really do miss Jalen Brunson. When I watch the Mavs play, so much of it is, what can Luka do for us? Can Luka save us? I was watching them play. Oh, who were they playing this past weekend? I don't remember who it was, but there was 2 possessions in a row. Luka has the ball. It's Kleba, I want to say, at the high post. And he goes to pass it to him. One of the passes they just completely miss on. One of them, Kleba turns the ball over. And you can see like Luka has clear frustration of like, what is going on here? Well, I can almost like, yo, I'm playing with bums. And I think the Dallas Mavericks are in an interesting situation. And if I said this before, I apologize if I have, because it's been something I've been thinking about for a while. The Dallas Mavericks had the issue of they got good immediately because Luka was that good. Luka was supposed to be a part of the rebuild. They brought him in as Dirk was leaving. Like it was supposed to be this, let's build around this new guy, give him some time to develop, like the typical rebuild stuff. Luka just happened to be so good that he was like, yo, we're in the first round of the playoffs, like immediately. Next thing you know, we're in the Western Conference Finals. We beat the Suns in the second round. We're in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. Now, so far, it doesn't look like they're going to potentially have that type of season again. I really do think they missed what Jalen Brunson brought, which was that secondary playmaker, somebody else who can create their own shot for himself and others, because all the offense is now created through Luka. And it was interesting because Jason Kidd said this the other day that for 82 games, there's no way that he could play at this level. The usage is just way too high. No one can. The things that we asked him to do on the offensive end, and then ask him to defend on the other end, it's a lot. Jason Kidd on Luka Doncic. And I think to me, I thought it was interesting coming from Kidd because to an extent, on one hand, you'd be like, okay, well, kid, you the one asking him to do this. You the coach. If you think you're using him too much or you're asking too much for him, you can adjust the game plan. Like, you're the coach. But on the other hand, I think kid is also like, well, if I adjust the game plan as currently constructed, we ain't going to win no games because we need Luka to go off to win these games. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what that move would look like or what it would be. I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of shot creator, playmaker, a guy who can get his own bucket or whatever becomes available. Not a catch and shoot guy, not a 3-and-D guy, a guy who can create, not all the time, but be a secondary playmaker, be a secondary shot creator. And this is no disrespect to Spencer Dinwiddie. I've seen some games where he did play well, for sure. But I don't think he's playing to me at least, he's not playing to the level of Jalen Brunson was. So yeah, funny coming from the guy who doesn't play his second option. That's why I said it's kind of like a given flow, a caveat here. Like, okay, kid, you could make some adjustments. You are the head coach. If you think you're using him too much, change something. He has been playing well, but I don't think they'll be fine. That's what I'm saying. This isn't trying to disrespect the Dinwiddie, but to me at least, they need more. They need another playmaker because right now it's just a lot of catch and shoot guys, and it's Luka. Maxey, Kleber, and Wood lineup. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's a double-edged sword. If they don't play Luka, they're gonna lose games. But if they play him too much, they're gonna run him into the ground, and he's gonna be exhausted come playoffs. And then, say what it is about it, say whatever you want to about it, but then you're really going to start to see the Luka and James Harden comparisons. Because what do we always say about James Harden? Great in the regular season, does all this in the regular season, but Houston ran him into the ground in the regular season because he was such a heliocentric offense that time for the playoffs, he had no energy. Now you got Luka, at least this season so far, it's a very heliocentric offense. I'm not saying he's going to be gassed in the playoffs because he had a really, really good playoff run last season, but he also had another playmaker to help out, to create. It's not looking like that this season. And I just don't want to see Luka fall into that. That's all. Hey, Lucas and Cool, what's good? How you doing? Koloko is a better Raptor center than when Hakeem played for us. I'm not even gonna hold you. I almost forgot Hakeem was even on the Raptors. I want to say I saw a picture of him in a Raptors jersey like a couple weeks ago. It was like a thread of like NBA legends and jerseys that just felt weird, and it looked so out of place. I might be mistaken. I want to say I saw him in the Raptors jersey, but honestly, I really could be mistaken. Let's see what y'all talking about in here. KG on the Nets did feel weird as well. Yes. Sometimes when NBA players at the end of their career, when they just be bouncing around, moving around, sometimes it just looks really, really weird. Heck, Shaq in a Celtics jersey felt weird, bro. How you go from a 3-peat with the Lakers to a Celtics jersey? Like, that felt weird. All right. Well, any last thing before we get out of here? I'm not gonna hold you. I told you we might be keeping this to a tight hour. On TikTok, somebody asked me if I'm a Hawks fan. No, my name is just Hawk. One day we'll get there. Shaq in the Cavs jersey was even nastier than Shaq in the Celtics jersey. Shaq in the Cavs jersey rage was absolutely disgusting. T-Mac in the Knicks is disgusting. All right. We're going to get out of here off Pirtle. We're going to wrap it up, tight hour, and we're going to get out of here off Pirtle. Next week, hopefully, I'll be feeling better and we can go a little longer. Because next week, I do plan on doing the awards. So you'll get like half the show of awards of like MVP, All-Star and All-NBA. And then the other half will be like what this hour was of just whatever is relevant NBA talk. Shaq in the Suns jersey, I ain't going to lie, I ain't mine. We're going to do Nikola Jovic's rage was first thing he asked. All right. Let's pull up Pirtle. Jovic. Golly. So Eastern Conference short guard that's older. Um, let's do Patrick Beverly just because. Just because. Western Conference guard, even shorter than 6'2". But young? Oh, this is really about to test me. Who's the really young short guards? Malachi Branham? Shorter than 6'2" isn't accurate, but dude, Malachi, I'm like, is he shorter than 6'2"? Devontae Graham could be shorter than 6'2", but I'm also thinking of. I like Devontae Graham. We're going to do Devontae Graham first. Well, what? Not Pacific Division. Devontae Graham's in the Southwest Division, I want to say, off the top of my head. Yeah, Southwest. He's only 6'1", even shorter than 6'1" in the Southwest Division. So we're talking not the Pelicans, though, but we're talking the Texas teams. So that's the Rockets, that's Dallas, that's Spurs, Pelicans, and there's another Southwest team I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Jalen Green be too tall. Who's 5'10", Ant-Man? Tyus Jones is 5'10", you're saying? All right. Mega VR is confident. He's confident. 6'1". That's what I'm saying. The player's got to be, if it's 2 inches shorter, who is still 5'10" in the league that's not Isaiah Thomas? That's in the Southwest Division. Because if it's not within 3 inches, if it's yellow, so that's 6 feet, that's 5'11", and then that's 5'10". Compazzo is mad short. It might be Compazzo. Yeah, it's Compazzo. It's got to be Compazzo. If it's not Compazzo, I don't know who it is. Wait, are Nuggets not Southwest? Denver. Are Nuggets not Southwest Division? We about to cheat real quick. Southwest Division, because I can't think of the last team that's in the Southwest Division in the NBA. Memphis. That's the other team I was thinking of. I could not think of who the last team was. He don't play for them anymore. Compazzo's on the Mavs now? Then he got cut. I couldn't tell you who's 5'10" in the league right now that's in the Southwest Division. I am so serious. NBA Southwest Division. Memphis Grizzlies. There's Ja. There's Bane. There's Dallas. No. Spurs. No. Oh, no. This is big casual moment for Hawk. This is a... No. I'll take it. This is a big casual moment. We about to just cheat with me now. Tyus Jones is 6'2". The problem is, I'm going to keep it a bean. So we did Spurs. We did Pelicans. So he's either a Dallas Maverick, a Memphis Grizzly, or a Houston Rocket. No. Who does Compazzo play for? I mean, that's the thing is, Compazzo would have been my guess, but y'all telling me he not on these teams right now. I'm going to do Compazzo because, how do you spell his name? Because, all right, so what's Compazzo? That's what's like, it's got to be Compazzo because even if he's not technically on the Mavs anymore, I doubt Pirtle would have updated that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's what I was like. It had to be. That's what I was saying. It had to be because they didn't update it yet. Yeah, I figured they didn't update it. He was on the Mavs and got cut, but they don't be updating their stuff. Yo, range. What you be on, bro? What you? Nah. It's on the screen now. It's on the screen. You can't delete it. I got it. Hey man, I appreciate you. I hope I feel better too. I'm happy I went live though. Shout out to the wife. WI for making me stream tonight. I'm sorry it's only an hour. Y'all know me. Usually we do at least an hour and a half. I think last week we did 2 hours, but yeah. Show the wife one day. Listen, we can see the wife when the streams and YouTube and content is my full-time job. That's when y'all can see the wife. Until then, y'all just gonna see me and my guests. I do want to bring back the Let's Talk Soup series. I'm about to start DMing a couple of people since we're like a couple of 2 months into the season. I want to reach out to mainly the people that we already had. Like I'm gonna have Suns Geek back on. I want to reach out to John. I want to reach out to my guy from Toronto. Who else have I had on? The Pegasus Pod. I might need to reach back out to them. Like I just want to reach back out to a couple of people because we did a lot of previews going into the season, but I want to just see how they feel in a couple months into the season about some of their teams. But yeah. Yo, y'all is crazy. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for Wait a minute. What is going on? What is going on in the chat? Nah, chat going crazy. Appreciate y'all for pulling up to the stream. I will see y'all next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Once again, next week we're gonna do way too early All-Stars. I'll probably have my all NBA teams together. And you know what I mean. We just be talking hoops. Let's talk hoops. And on that note, I'm out of here. I'm gonna try to set up the stream beats. I mean not stream beats. The stream labs. I'm gonna try to set up the chat commands for the stream. I can't even look at the chat right now. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace. I got you, Mega. Where's my end stream at? There we go. Read the chat. Ant-Man saying read chat. What else is going on in chat that I need to? Besides the susness. All right. I'm out of here, yo. Peace. End stream.